You know a boomerang.
Yeah.
What's a boomerang?
Someone that leaves and comes back. And there's a lot of us here. At 20 weeks during my ultrasound, they found that there was something wrong with his heart. We waited and eventually his heart couldn't handle it anymore.
How do you move on? How do you honor Asher, but then also have the strength to move on?
We've been trying to help other people in our situation. We decided to donate money to the school in honor of Asher.
What's the biggest misconception about Linton, North Dakota?
I'm blanking. What is the biggest misconception?
My guest today is Emma Sorrels. She grew up in Linton, moved away for college, and then ended up meeting her husband, Tony. They moved back here and now have 2 sons, raising them here in Linton. She also works for the North Dakota Department of Commerce. You're from Linton, right?
I am born and raised.
You graduate here?
Yes,
You're
in
a lion?
2007, lion. Once a lion, always a lion.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you're married and your kids are going here too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a 5th grader and a 3rd grader.
Yeah. But you left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Bismarck.
Yeah. Is it like an hour
Yeah.
from here?
About an hour.
So you're graduating high school. What are you thinking about at that point? Because we should set the context here. The Linton schools are small, right? I mean,
Right.
What was your graduating class?
33.
Okay. 33. What was that
And that
like?
was a big class.
What was that like? I mean, that's probably all you knew.
Yeah.
But what's it like? I mean, you know your whole class from kindergarten on.
Yeah. It's actually a lot of fun. I mean, I'm still friends with a lot of them to this day. Still talk regularly. See them down the street.
Yeah.
It's been good, but I didn't think I'd come back to Linton.
Yeah. So you left, you graduated, and then you
Went
left to
straight
Bismarck.
to Bismarck. Yep.
Why did you want to get out of town, and why didn't you think you'd ever come back?
Like when you're a kid who wants to live in a small town, like what is there to do?
Yeah.
Thoughts.
But you had stuff to do as a kid, right? Didn't you?
Well, I grew up on a farm, so lots of work, not a lot of play. But
When you were on the farm, what did you guys farm?
so until I was a 4th grader, we milked cows, so we always had to help in the milk barn and feed calves. We had lots of cows, barley, corn, wheat. So there was always something to do.
What's
Mow the
milking?
lawns, clean out grain bins.
What's milking cows? What does that consist of for you? What did you have to do? Like, in what time did you have to wake up?
So like 7, but my parents more or less milked and my 2 older siblings, so I'd bring out the milk machines.
All right.
I tried harder to get out of work than I did to actually help.
It sounds like me.
Yeah.
I've tried to do that forever. The reason I ask is because my mom grew up on a farm too.
Yeah.
And just hearing her stories, and I did not, but hearing her stories as I'm growing up, it just sounded like a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
But I think we all point to that and say, well, that's where the work ethic comes from.
Yes, very much so.
But she would tell me stories. I mean, we're in Minnesota, you're here in North Dakota. It doesn't matter if it's, below 0 or if it's 95 degrees in that barn, like the work has to get done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of good times in the barn, listening to music and singing.
Yeah. But didn't want that for your life.
No.
So you went to Bismarck. What is it? Bismarck State?
Yep. Went to Bismarck State College, got my 2-year degree. I started working at ID Ford and moved up within ID Ford and started doing payroll. And I was there for a long time. And then when I was pregnant, I was like, I need more.
Yeah.
I don't want to raise my kid in Bismarck.
Yeah.
And then when Easton was like 5 months old, we decided to make the move either to go back to War Road, where my husband is originally from, or move to Linton.
Yeah.
And he said Linton, and I was like, well, if we move down there, I'm probably not going to leave.
Yeah.
So
your husband, I mean, he grew up in a big town compared to Linton.
Yeah. It's not too big, but Hockey Town, USA, like
Yeah. War
much
Road,
bigger.
Minnesota.
Yes.
So let's take a step back because you go to Bismarck and you graduate college. When do you meet your husband? Before he was your husband, but when do you meet Tony?
I met him 2012, 2013.
How?
So, in a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually worked with one of my friends from high school, and I met up with that friend, and Tony was there, and we kind of hit it off.
Right. Yeah. Did you know right away that there was something interesting happening there?
He made a comment to me the first night we had danced, and he's like, "Oh, my grandma always said that if you like find someone you can dance with, you're gonna marry them." And we ended up married.
Yeah, he said that right away. He was
Yeah.
taking a shot right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you meet Tony, and then you get married, and then pregnant, right? So you're thinking about what? Did life perspectives change at that point?
Yeah. For sure. He was working for Dakota Fence at the time. So he was gone on the road, and Easton and I were in Bismarck. So he was on the road Monday through Friday and would come back on the weekends.
What is it that changes in a person when they get married and have kids? Because very much like you, I grew up in a town of 2,500, and I just wanted to be in the big city. And so at 18, I left. Now, I didn't dislike where I came from or anything like that. I really loved it and valued it, but I wanted the big city. But all of a sudden, married and kids, and then I'm looking back at where I grew up saying, like, wait a second, much like you, I thought there was nothing to do here, and now I see all that there is to do here.
Yeah.
What is it that shifts in us?
I don't know. I grew up a mile and a half from my grandparents, and my aunts and uncles and family. My dad is the oldest of 11 kids, so I always grew up with a lot of family around, and I wanted that for my kids. My brother and sister-in-law had moved back from Fargo. My older sister was living in Fargo, or not in Fargo, in Strasburg, and I just wanted my kids to grow up around family.
Yeah.
So that was important to me. And I had job flexibility with working for the state of North Dakota, where I was able to only have to drive to Bismarck 2 days a week. So it made sense. And then my husband started working for my aunt and uncle's business. They are co-owners in Prairie Heating and Air. So my husband started working for there and was doing construction on the side. So it just made more sense for us. The hunting, the fishing, trusting people, finding babysitters for your kids, and the high schoolers.
It's like the things that you didn't realize were important as a kid, all of a sudden you understand the importance of them.
Yeah, very much so.
Like a good education, having safe, a safe community, a trusting, loving community, and all the amenities too. And Tony, being from War Road, which, let's paint the picture. Okay, think of the United States, and then think of like the most northern place
Yeah.
in the United States that you can go, pretty much.
Yes.
And that's War Road.
Yeah, they're 6 miles from Canada. When we go up there, my phone like pings off the Canadian towers.
Yeah. In Minnesota, so at the very northern, basically close, the northern tip
Yeah.
of Minnesota.
Like in the woods.
And there's a lot happening there, though.
Oh, yeah. Busy.
A lot happening. It's known, you mentioned it, Hockeytown, USA.
Marvin Windows.
Marvin Windows, which is expanding across the United States.
Yes.
Many people probably have them in their house right now. But also, too, if you look at just about any NHL roster, you're gonna find, whether it's a Minnesota native or not, but more than likely, perhaps a War Road native, too.
Yeah.
And your husband, he played with?
Yeah, he played with TJ Oshie in high school.
Who is a gold medalist
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have any stories with TJ? I'm sure a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot.
But
So-
yeah, play hockey with somebody who basically became like a borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Went to the Olympics, was an Olympic hero.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then he also babysat Brock Nelson.
And that's what War Road is known for, really, hockey. So you guys are married, you're having a kid, you're thinking, we don't want to stay in a large city. We want to go back to a town or move to a small town.
Yeah.
And it was either Warroad or Linton?
Yeah.
So what pushed Linton to the number one spot?
Actually, like Tony was like big on Linton. He's like, I love to hunt and I love to fish down there. I mean, there's great fishing in Warroad, but he thought there was more potential in Linton for a future for him doing construction, and just really loved the town.
Yeah. So here's Linton, okay? So you're in Bismarck, 2007 to 2014. You're deciding, let's move back to Linton. Now, for people who don't know where Linton is, it's in the southern, I guess, south central part of North Dakota. Basically, it's like middle of North Dakota, and it's just straight south, right?
Right.
Yeah. So a town of what?
1,200.
1,200 people?
Yeah.
Yeah. No stoplights.
No stoplights. One four-way stop in the whole town.
Right. And when people hear that, I think oftentimes you think, well, there's nothing there.
But we have everything.
What do you have?
We have hospital, churches, a blue ribbon school. You can get your hair done. You can get your nails done. We have such a good bakery. We're sitting in Bauman Financial. We're right next door to the boutique.
Yeah.
There's the eye clinic. You can get your taxes done here. We have two great tax accountants. Jody, who we worked with on this, has 3 businesses, not just in Linton.
Yeah.
Like, there's growth here.
Well, it's so interesting because I think people will say that small towns are dying, they're not growing, there's nothing there for you, when not really looking at an ecosystem like you have here in Linton, where, interestingly enough, you don't have a stoplight, but that may be the only thing you don't have.
Yeah,
You've got an airport.
we do.
So I guess, so the decision then was, we want to raise our kids and be here in this sort of environment.
Yes.
How come?
I don't want to say it's slow here, because my life is definitely not slow, but it's not like busy with traffic and people and cars. It's peaceful. Like, it's quiet. People stick up for each other. People come together as a community to support each other.
Mm-hmm. The traffic thing is real.
Yeah.
Living in the suburbs of the Twin Cities right now, I'm in traffic either 35 to 55 minutes one way each day.
I can get to Bismarck in 60 minutes.
And you don't have to wait for anybody.
No.
And so you're efficient with your time. You're getting to be where you want to be. So then you have your first child, right?
Right.
And
we were still in Bismarck when we had Easton.
Easton.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
He is 11.
Okay. And then your second child?
Edison. He's 8.
8. So you move in 2014. And is that like right when Easton is born, right after?
We moved in November, so he was born in May. So
yeah, just a few months.
5 months later.
Yeah. Didn't want to. Were you looking that whole time?
No.
Okay. The number one thing I think people, before they were to move, are thinking, well, what am I going to do there? What am I going to do for a job there? What can I do to make an income or make a difference? And too often people might think too that, well, I have to give up my dream to move back home. What was your experience?
When I moved back, I still had my same job, but I was working from home. And I think one thing in a small town to like feel welcomed and be part of the community is joining committees. So we joined the chamber. I'm still on the chamber as a board member. We're part of LIDC. My husband is a fireman and is part of the Lions Club. And these different groups in our town support everything. Lions Club paid for our meal last night. Like, they've been a big help, and it gives you that sense of community when you're working with people. Servant leadership, serving others.
Mm-hmm. You really feel that pull when you come here.
Yeah.
And it's like it's on us to create that healthy ecosystem for the next generation.
Yeah.
It feels like.
and keep Linton alive.
Because we are the people that make up Linton.
Yes.
Yeah.
So putting on the community events like last night, the chamber does a great job. They do the Easter egg hunt and dairy. It used to be dairy and egg days, but now we don't have any dairy producers in Emmons County, so it's just turned into egg days. But then there's chili cook-off and day of caring, light up the night they always do around Thanksgiving. So it gives people a reason to come to town and to support our local businesses.
What's interesting to me is that just even being here in town this week, I have felt sort of some of the anxieties that I kind of live with. And look, we all do. We all have them. But some of those anxieties that I live with in terms of thinking about, money, or thinking about, traveling from here to there, or getting this done, or doing this thing, or doing that, and kind of feeling sort of alone in that, even though I know I'm not, and family and whatnot. But as we're coming here, you had mentioned it, it's not that things are slow, but it feels like just priorities are in the right place.
Yeah.
And I got that sense here where it was just like a calming effect of like, none of those things that you have packed away back at home, none of those things honestly really matter.
No.
And what matters is showing up for one another, loving one another, living like, trying to be a role model, living like Christ. Like those are the things that matter.
Yeah.
In this community, I don't know. I've just felt it. It feels like I have it.
Yeah. Help your neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a couple of children, and they're in the school district that you went to, which, by the way, before I get into the next thing, there's a term for you.
Boomerang.
You know, boomerang.
Yeah.
What's a boomerang?
Someone that leaves and comes back. And there's a lot of us here.
Yeah. I think right now there are more and more people. Well, you guys took a picture. There are more and more people who are those boomerangs. And I think that is the highest compliment anyone can give, because somebody then grew up in that small town. They decided, you know what, I'm going to go experience. I'm going to go live in the world. And then they chose to move back.
Yeah.
And I think that is the highest compliment, is that you can go out there and see the world and say like, yeah, but I choose this as home.
Yeah.
The other one would be the rural curious bucket. I think there's a lot of people who are looking for exactly what you found right here.
Yeah.
That quality of life.
I feel like we have an older generation of people that are like becoming rural curious that are moving to Linton. We have snowbirds that, like, it's the opposite. Like, they're from Arizona, but they want to come here and live here during the summer. And then they go back to Arizona in the winter when it's cold. But, like, they're choosing the small town life also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the data backs that up as well. You have more and more people choosing small towns since really they started tracking it back in the 1970s. And you think about millennials, we're millennials. I know I'm barely with you in on that, but then Gen Zers, quality of life's the number one thing. I heard from people, to your point, I heard from people in and around town that said, never even knew Linton existed, but I moved here from Seattle.
Yeah.
Of all places, because we wanted to make this place in North Dakota our home.
Yeah.
So you can see it and you can sense it here as well. But your family, then you're here and you're getting involved in school, you're getting involved in the community, and then your family grew, right?
Right.
You had a third son.
Yep. Asher.
Asher. What happened?
When I was 20 weeks pregnant, I was I had So at 20 weeks during my ultrasound, they found that there was something wrong with his heart. So then we were sent to the cities to see a specialist down there. And then we found out he was most likely had hypoplastic left heart syndrome.
What is that exactly?
So essentially he was born with half a heart. His left ventricle wasn't fully developed.
So how was the rest of the pregnancy, or what happened from there?
At about 32 weeks, I had to move to the cities to be seen there, and then we delivered him there, and he had to have surgery within the first 5 days to keep his heart functioning.
This had to be, not only traumatic, but incredibly stressful too. I mean, is it 2020, right?
We had him in 2019.
Okay.
So he was born March 7 of 2019.
Okay.
And he was in the hospital after he was born for about, 2 months. And then we were able to come home for 3 months. And then he had to go back to have a catheter for his pre-cath for his neck surgery. And they ended up keeping him there after that. So he had his second surgery in the cities at Children's Hospital in Minnesota. And he just wasn't getting better. And after, I think it was about a month after his surgery, they approached us and said he needs a heart transplant. So then we were on the waiting list for a heart transplant. And that was in August of 19, the end of August, that we got put on the transplant list. And then 2020 happens and COVID hit. No one's going anywhere. Not that you want someone else's child to die so yours can live, but there was nothing. With people not leaving their house, there wasn't the car accidents and there wasn't the things that normally happen where the younger children pass away. So we waited, and eventually his heart couldn't handle it anymore. And he passed away in August of 2020.
Yeah. During that entire, 20 months or so, what was family and friends and community support that you had during that time?
Yeah, so I was in the cities full-time with Asher, and Tony was coming back and forth with the kids. And Linton stepped up for us with different fundraisers. The school did a fundraiser. The hospital did a fundraiser. They did meal trains. They stepped up in any way they could have. Mm-hmm. They volunteered to take our kids anytime, at a drop of a hat. My kids ride the transit bus in Linton, and the transit bus driver was like, "No, I'm paying for your kids. You're not paying. I'm covering this for you guys." And I don't, how do you make it through that without all the support that we have?
That small town.
I honestly don't know how financially, emotionally, physically could have gotten through all that without a community of people backing us up.
Yeah. How then in August 2020, your older sons and Tony, how do you as a family recover? How do you move on? How do you honor Asher, but then also have the strength to move on?
It took a while, but to emotionally, even think about doing anything. Well, we had leftover money after all the bills were paid and the funeral was paid for, and we're not keeping this for ourselves. So we started Asher's Heart. So we've been trying to help other people in our situation financially go through there. And our plan was to do a playground on A Street. Well, during this planning process, the Linton Park Board put a new park in, and then the school was fundraising for a new park. So we decided to donate money to the school in honor of Asher. Mm-hmm. So we did that. But we do have the piece of land, and because my mind never stops and I must keep finding things to do, I actually applied for a grant this past May through the North Dakota NDSU extension agents, and we got a grant. So now I'm kind of doing an Asher's Garden, and we're hoping that we can use it as a learning tool for the 4-H programs in our area and for our foods classes in the Linton school. And then the produce grown from there is going to be donated to the food pantry.
So continuing to honor him, but then
Yeah.
also honor the community, which is there for you as well.
Right.
How about like just as a spouse with Tony? And I mean, these are things, these are real things that,
Yeah.
you know, probably the biggest challenge any married couple could go through. What was that like going through that together and then coming out the other side?
So they told us when he passed away that they said over 50% of couples that lose a child, marriages end up in divorce. Being apart while Asher was in the hospital, we like really had to communicate. Like,
Yep.
and I'm the type of person that like, I'm sad, I'm stressed, I shut down, and I had to work through that to be able to let him know what was going on. 'Cause he's here with our 2 boys and I'm in Minnesota with one of them, and we had to communicate with each other. And I really think that that helped. We had that good foundation. Like, he's my best friend. And that truly helped.
Yeah. It's so important, that communication piece, and being able to verbalize it. Sometimes
Yeah.
we internalize things and we
Yes.
think that the other person just would know or understand or sense it, but oftentimes it's not, because we're all pulled in so many different directions and can't always be totally in tune with everything. That's
It helps that he just goes along with all my ideas too.
he's a good husband.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn that piece too with Camille.
Yeah.
Just trying to learn that part. But now it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
And I guess just since then, and I imagine that does something to a person when you see your neighbors and your community step up, and you were already involved, but
Yeah.
I imagine that just kind of reinforces your decision to be here
Yeah. Absolutely.
when you see that.
Yeah.
So you're from here.
Yep.
You're a boomerang. You moved away. You chose to come back. So I'll ask you then. Nobody better to be able to answer this question than you.
gosh.
What's the biggest misconception about Linton, North Dakota?
Oh my gosh. I'm blanking. What is the biggest misconception? That there's nothing to do here. I said it myself. There's tons to do here.
Yeah.
I feel like our community is always trying to make itself better.
I mean, you as a kid said there was nothing to do here.
Yeah. And now I'm like, what do you mean you're bored? To my kids, I'm like, go to the park, ride your bike to the park, go to the pool, call up a friend.
Oh, I hate the word bored. I hate the word bored. You should never be bored. And
Yeah.
we actually need our kids to be more bored.
Yeah.
Because now with phones and iPads and TV everywhere, when we were growing up, I don't, not to sound like an old person, but when we were growing up, I mean, you were forced to be bored.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of creativity and a lot of playful, things are created and started. And I think I'm guilty of it now, but if I get a second, okay, I'm filling up what should be
Yeah.
peaceful boredom with dinging around on my phone.
Yeah. It's too handy.
So you've also lived in North Dakota and in different towns in North Dakota. So I'll ask you this one then. What's the biggest misconception about North Dakota?
When I travel, they're like, do you have running water there? We do have running water. We do have electricity. There is stuff to do here. It's beautiful here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Although I will say, people from the East Coast, they think the United States is the 13 original colonies, California and Texas.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more out here for people.
A lot more.
And have running water and broadband too.
Yes.
We have that as well. So yeah, that would be certainly a misconception too. I think, yeah, I would say even like an outsider perspective from somebody who's not from North Dakota, but that the biggest misconception would be that there's nothing to do here too.
Yeah.
Like that's just not the case. And the people here are just, salt of the earth people. And then also too, I guess on Linton, everything you need. We talked about the schools, but now it's different for you in that like you went through the school district in the school system, a national blue ribbon winning school district. People don't associate that with a small town, but here your school is doing that. What's it like now as a mom having your kids go through that same district and seeing education a little bit differently than you would have as a child?
Yeah. I feel like our school is like willing to adapt and help any kid in any situation, help them get what they need to succeed. I feel like our school will go above and beyond for these kids, and I feel it with my kids. I feel like the parent-teacher communication is great here. They're always looking for opportunities for our kids to learn, and anything they want to do, they're finding a way for them to be able to do it. Our high schoolers can take college classes. Mm-hmm. Like they're getting these credits that they need. Our school promotes like the community service stuff too, like big into that. They help each other out. I can call the principals and ask like, do you have any kids that would be interested in helping us with this? And they always have kids helping. Mm-hmm. We had close up last night helping serve the meal.
Mm-hmm. Another underrated aspect too is that the teachers all know the families.
Yeah.
So kids are held accountable.
Very much so.
Not only just for their grades, but their actions as well.
Yeah.
Because they'll see you on the street and know, uh-oh, Easton better be behaving in class. Look, I mean, you're a talented person. Tony too. He didn't even grow up here, but you guys could choose to be anywhere, but you choose to be here.
Yeah.
How come?
Community. The people, the family. There's everything here. We don't need to leave. My husband hates the big city life. He hates even going to Bismarck, but like for the most part, he doesn't need it. We have a lumber yard. We have a grocery store. We have butcher shops. We have restaurants.
Everybody has stopped me everywhere I go just to say, hey, how you doing? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Everybody, you walk down Main Street here, driving downtown, by the way, but walk downtown here, everybody's waving.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, how's it going? Yeah.
You got the 2-finger salute when people are driving.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh. Hand on the steering wheel.
Yeah. So, Emma, I really appreciate you sharing your story and your choice to be here in Linton. Thank you for joining the pod.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming to Linton.